Hello, this is Charting Man Dan of TheChartGuys, where we teach the little guy and girl how to utilize charts to manage their own trades and investments. What do I mean by the little guy and girl? Well, we just had two directives signed halting the implementation of a rule that requires financial advisors to act in the best interests of their client. Let that sink in a little bit. The big wigs on Wall Street can play with your retirement and hard-earned money without your best interests at heart. We currently have hundreds of members taking charge of their financial future, and we would love for you to come check out a free week with no credit card required to see if our services would be beneficial on your path to financial independence as well. What we offer, we have a separate course of over 5 hours in length on when to enter and exit positions. And in terms of what we do daily, we have nightly videos, key levels updated each morning before the bell, 2.5 hours of live daily webcam coverage in the morning and in the afternoon, and over 7 hours of educational videos. All of these links can be found in the description of this video. Come check us out. Thanks for watching. Let's get on to the technical analysis. Hey everyone, looking at the tech sector, XLK, Apple, and Facebook. So the XLK sector here looks pretty much exactly like SPY, with one difference is that we filled the gap to the downside. So that's a good sign for the bulls, filling the gap. And also, this consolidation is extremely normal and healthy at this point. The bulls could not have asked for better consolidation following that big breakout day on Wednesday. And look at the bulls buying the dip on Friday, closing at the high of the day. So that's a really strong way to end the week. And we're going to be looking at resistance of 53.05 and 53.16. And here we are, just 27 cents away from the highest price that we have seen on this bull move. So the bulls are looking for continuation in the tech sector, trying to fend off this bearish MACD cross. And as we keep holding, if we keep holding this 8-period exponential moving average support on the daily time frame, that MACD will stay just parallel and will not get that bearish cross if we can continue to the upside and look towards a higher high. So the weekly time frame, you could make the argument that this is a bearish reversal spinning top, but obviously with the momentum at the end of the day on Friday heading in for the bulls, I would not be looking for downside unless we see it on the daily time frame. And at this point, we have a higher low now with the low of Friday. We were looking at the low of last Friday as our higher low of 52.17. Now we have a new level, the low of this Friday, 52.59. As long as the bulls hold that level, they keep the higher low pattern intact, and they're heading back to higher highs. So Apple is certainly responding. You can see how similar these charts are between Apple and XLK, which is why if you are trading Apple, you should certainly be watching XLK at the same time for those correlations. So we closed up at the high of the day. Apple is just a raging bull at this point still. We do have a little gap here at 137.44 to keep an eye on, but we closed at the high of the day on Friday. The all-time high is 140.28, and here we are 50 cents away from an all-time high, less than 0.5%. So if XLK gets a new all-time high, we're heading to higher highs ourselves. And look at this RSI. If you ever need to prove to somebody that RSI is meaningless when you are in blue sky breakout mode, Apple Daily Chart is the chart that you're going to show them here. Because if anybody here looking at this and saying, oh, the RSI is overbought, we need to cool off, they're missing out on a big run. And we knew that this RSI was meaningless because of that blue sky breakout and the lack of previous price history as resistance. So the weekly time frame for Apple has held above the upper Bollinger Band for 5 weeks in a row. This now makes 9 green weeks in a row, and this makes 13 of the last 14 weeks green, and it makes 14 of the last 16 weeks green. It's pretty insane, this move to the upside, and we are going to be looking for a pretty significant pullback once things do shift and the entire technology sector does consolidate, but we're not going to be fighting this uptrend, and we're not going to be looking for downside unless we break the higher low pattern on the daily time frame. So the Apple bulls are in full control. We look at Facebook, those bulls are in full control. It's been a lot slower and steadier, certainly nowhere near the gains that Apple has been seeing on its blue sky breakout, but Facebook's coming off of all-time highs as well, so it's still certainly strong. We do have a higher low, higher high, slow and steady pattern. I'm looking at support of 134.75. New higher low is now 136.08, and the all-time high is 137.82. We are just 65 cents away from that level, so knocking on the door here as well, and we close strong, just like the financial, or I should say the technology sector and Apple. So the bulls have some momentum heading into next week, and if we can get that break of that all-time high, 137.82, we can see this upper Bollinger Band is acting as resistance, so that will be the level we're looking at because we don't have any previous price history to be going off of. But the Facebook bulls are still strong, and the weekly chart shows that, negating that bearish candlestick last week. Closing up near the high, we're looking for a weekly bullish MACD cross, but we're going to have to see a move up towards 140 to see that follow through on the weekly time frame. So in summary, we have the technology sector still extremely strong. It's driving the market, in my opinion. The technology sector and the financial sector are the biggest market drivers. And look at SPY on the daily time frame. Very similar to what XLK is doing. So XLK, bulls have momentum, nice little bull flag potential of consolidation. Apple is pretty much identical to the XLK chart, and Facebook very similar as well. All the bulls remaining in control, loving the consolidation that they saw towards the end of last week, and ending Friday on a nice bullish note heading into next week. So we'll see if we can keep that low of Friday next week. That will show continuation. We'll check back in on Monday. I appreciate you watching and hope you have a great weekend.